Well, hello everybody. It's good to see all of you, and it looks like we have another record number of clients joining us today from all over the world. It's been a couple months since our last webinar, and Robert and myself are super excited to update you on our business, the US mortgage market, and as well as some of our new loan programs. We want to keep this short and open it up to Q&A, as this is where our clients tell us they get the most value. So first off, let's start with the U.S. Mortgage market update. So not much has changed in terms of overall rates. U.S. prime rates are still historical lows, and some days they're higher, some days they're lower, and we don't see this trend changing anytime soon. However, over the last 2 days, the average lender has improved their rates quite a bit. This is mostly a reflection of lenders playing it safe heading into the potential election-related market volatility as bonds have improved somewhat since then. Generally speaking, a stronger bond market equals lower rates. Another consideration is that lenders are starting to feel a little more competition with each other, which is obviously good for borrowers. And last but not least, fortunately for us and our borrowers, lenders still have plenty of room to tighten their margins, which is kind of a fancy way to say that they still have room to bring down rates. Now, there theoretically is a limit to how low rates could go, but we're nowhere near that right now. Now, here's an important update on costs. In September, a few months ago, the Fannie Mae surprised the market by announcing a 50 basis points additional fee to be added to closing costs called the adverse market fee. There's an incredible uproar in the mortgage community, and they decided to postpone this till December the 1st. Now, just to refresh everyone's memory, due to historical high number of refinancings this year, as a result of record low mortgage rates, Fannie Mae will add 0.5% to all refinancings as a form of a one-off upfront fee. For example, if a loan amount is $100,000, you will now pay $500 more on your closing costs. Now, it's important to note that the December 1st deadline means the loans have to deliver by that date, not just by locking in the rate or applying by December 1st. So in summary, if you're looking to refinance your home and take advantage of the low rates, submit your application now. Underwriting times are very long, given the backlog, so earlier the better. Now, before we get into our new US mortgage programs, I want to give you a quick reminder and update of GMG's product offering in other markets. So aside from the US, we offer mortgages to UK, Canada, Australia, and recently France, as well as high-value global bridge loans in most countries, and specifically in Singapore, where we live. For those countries, we have dedicated loan officers, as well as direct relationships with lenders in each country. Indeed, as you can imagine, it's been incredibly busy, especially in Australia and UK, given where rates are and trending, and demand coming from Asia. In other exciting news, in Singapore, we launched a short-term bridge loan solution for those looking to pull equity out of their home for some additional personal liquidity. Our programs fill the gap where banks are restricted on lending, given regulations, limits on loan to value, and qualifying standards. So a common example would be a foreign buyer. Let's say, for example, he or she lives in Indonesia. They have a condo free and clear in Singapore. We're able to pull out 70% of the value in the form of a short-term interest-only loan. We're able to do this, able to close these loans fairly quickly in under a week. And like everything we do at GMG, we have taken something that historically been opaque, difficult, and stressful and made it transparent, easy, and hassle-free. Now over to my business partner, Robert, who will talk about our exciting residential loan program in California for foreign nationals, as well as our commercial and portfolio programs. Robert, over to you.
Thank you, Donald. Hello, everyone. I wanted to touch on a few new programs that we started offering within, I would say probably over the last couple of weeks. So if you're looking to purchase or refinance in California, and your loan amount is at least $1 million, you're okay with a loan to value of 60%. So if it's a purchase, you're looking at 40% down. If it's a refinance, would be the maximum 60% of the appraised value. We're currently featuring rates on ARMs, so 3-year, 5-year, 7-year, and 10-year, amortized over 30 years, regardless of age, in the 3% range. What that means is for a foreign national, you're getting very, very similar rates to what a US citizen would be seeing now, which is almost unheard of. The minimum loan amount, again, is $1 million. The maximum LTV is 60%, and it's just strictly restricted to California. But it's a really great program, quite easy to qualify for. There's no US credit required. So in lieu of US credit, you're going to use credit from your home country. Rather than having a deep dive into your financials, we would require a letter from your accountant or your employer, basically stating your last 3 years' income and your current year to date. 2 months bank statements, and just showing what your net worth is. These programs started about 3 weeks ago with us, and the response has been fantastic. Again, restricted to California, but something you may want to consider if you're looking to purchase or refinance there. We've also added something that we've had an amazing demand for and just never had the product placement. There's a lot of, whether it's family offices or individuals that own a lot of property, whether it's 10 properties in Atlanta or 100 properties in Chicago or more. We've added a portfolio program, basically meaning one loan that would cover the entire portfolio. This works out quite well when we have minimum loan amounts for our standard loans of $100,000. For these portfolio loans, depending on which lender we use, the lowest cost per door, meaning the lowest value per property, can go as low as $50,000. So for people that perhaps took advantage of buying a lot of inner city properties and they're getting good yields, they want to purchase more property. Now we have the opportunity to cash out up to 70% on these properties. Now, in order to achieve optimum rates, which are in the 4s, we need to have a minimum loan amount of $1 million, meaning that the total portfolio value, whether it's current if you're refinancing or along with a purchase, needs to be about 1.4, 1.5 million. Now, if you do have a few homes, so it'd have to be at least 4, and the values don't reach that $1 million mark, it's still entirely possible. Rates are a bit higher, but we can go all the way down to a loan amount of $200,000. So if somebody's looking to acquire a portfolio that's for sale, or if they have a current portfolio, this is really a nice way to do it. Again, depending on the lender, up to 70% loan to value. Rates can be in the 4% range. Minimum loan amount for that kind of rate is $1 million. Otherwise, you're looking at a higher rate, but a lower barrier to entry. We've also launched a commercial line, and we've both for the portfolio and the commercial, we brought on specialists. So these are very, very experienced in the industry. The commercial loan programs is just that. It can be anywhere from a small residential commercial purchase all the way up to a large AAA rated building. Loan amount minimum is $250,000, and there's not really a maximum. There can be term loans on these. So if it's a matter of just trying to acquire this property and being able to pay it off with a different loan down the road, that's entirely possible. So we could do a short-term bridge, or we could do a longer-term standard traditional commercial mortgage. I can discuss what is needed to qualify for these programs in the chat, or feel free to email me directly. For the foreign nationals and the US citizens, I'll just touch on them briefly. Rates are slowly coming down. I think on the last webinar that we had, which was quite some time ago, the market was just starting to turn back around after COVID pretty much suspended everything. We are back up to not quite where we pre-COVID, but we're up to 70% loan to value for a foreign national. Again, the same qualifying standards. You don't need US credit. You don't need US residency. Income qualifying is quite simple. And it can be both for purchase and refinance in all 50 states. US citizens, as Donald touched on, rates have never been lower. The only downside is turn times and underwriting can be quite long. So as long as you're patient, willing to hang in there, we've identified quite a few banks that we're working with that have probably much quicker turn times than the standard. So we can get these things out pretty quickly. Obviously, signing these loans has been challenging. There are various options. So one of them is a remote notary. It's basically just like we're doing now, online. Some states and some escrow or attorney offices do allow it, and we make our best effort at trying to find it, depending on what state your property is in. Or we have been very, very fortunate that the embassies have been kind enough to us that we've been able to get emergency signings for most of our loans. So we haven't really had any issues, whether it's from the UK to Hong Kong to Singapore. So definitely reach out and let us know if you do have a rate. I would say that's 4% or more, maybe 3.5%. It's definitely worth exploring if you're a US citizen. So I think that's it for myself. I believe we're opening the floor up to questions. So let's do it.
We had a question earlier about do we offer loans in Florida? We actually offer loans in all 50 states. We have over 150 lenders in the US. So our goal is to, like anything we do, try to get you into a loan that best suits your your needs and how you qualify for. So all 50 states are available.
So there's a question that says, I'm an Indian citizen, retired, living in the UAE, and planning to move to the US in 2022. I'm planning to buy a house in August in 2021. What are my chances of getting a loan? So we have some very unique programs for foreign nationals, and this gives us a 97% approval rate. So if we talk to you and we identify you that you can qualify for a loan, we take your application, there's a 97% chance you're going to get the loan. Now, most of the issues that we run into are more property related, but in your case, sir, there's two routes. One is if you currently have an income and your accountant can state what your income has been for the last 3 years and year to date, then that should be sufficient. If for some reason, as you said, you're retired and maybe your income is passive and not declared, especially if you're living in Dubai, then we can go off of what would be considered the rental income of the property, meaning that we're not going to ask you for any rental income. We're going to go off of either if the property is currently rented, what that rental agreement is, or what the appraiser would appraise for that rental. So yes, definitely reach out to us. I think we can assist.
All right, there's a couple of these for other countries. So we have somebody's asking about Australia. So the loan to value to Australia is between 60 to 70%. There's a few moving parts on, types of programs that suit your needs, but generally speaking, they're fairly straightforward. Again, a lot of the minutia of these loans are better explained over an email or on the phone. So Australia can do it. We're super active. We work directly with the lenders. There's no other middlemen. So please email us at hello@gmg.asia. There's another question that just popped up regarding France. Again, same thing, 60 to 70% LTV. The lender we just spoke to and onboarded last week that just focuses on expats and foreign nationals living overseas. And it's surprising to me. It seems like it's quite popular to have a place in Cannes or Saint-Tropez from people in Asia. So email us at hello@gmg.asia. Like I said earlier, The rates in Europe obviously are quite low at the moment, so it's a good time to kind of explore these options.
So there's a question, it says, what is the general turnaround time for foreign nationals to refinance? For the US citizens, it's taking quite some time. For foreign nationals, it's about 45 days, just because we have a lot more options. Now, the thing that we have no control over is obviously how long titling takes and how long the appraisal takes. Certain places in the US are still affected by COVID, and appraisals are taking a bit longer, but certainly we could target it for 45 days. So, also if the property is currently rented as well. I'm assuming we would just need to check with the property management company to make sure that the appraiser can get into the property. So, but not a problem if it's rented. So. Okay, somebody has a question. For a portfolio loan, does that not meet the 1 million mark? Could you repeat the minimum loan amount? Do the properties have to close at the same time? Must the properties be in the same state? Not looking to refinance, more looking to purchase. Good question. There are portfolio loan programs as low as 200,000, meaning that the entire portfolio is 200,000. Needs to be at least, I believe it's at least 4 properties. You would have to do it all at one time because the loan has to meet that minimum requirement. It's not like an open account that you can just add properties as you go. So it would have to close in that transaction. So I don't think it would have to be in the same state, but it would certainly have to close at the same time.
So there's a question regarding the difference between a portfolio loan and a commercial loan. So, and this gentleman seems to have 7 residential. That would be considered portfolio. Commercial loans are typically an office building, or maybe maybe a shopping mall, or maybe a multi-unit residence as a building. There are some similarities to the lenders and the types of loan. But definitely is doable. Now, in terms of your question, the best loan options available, again, it's probably not, it's kind of more of a longer answer that we have time for on this webinar, but it's exactly what we do. And we've, like Robert said earlier, we've hired specialists for this exact business who've worked at some of the biggest banks in the US to come join GMG to focus on this. So please reach out to us. And in fact, we'll table that question and reach out back to you later. There's a question based in the UK, what is the loan to value for residential as well? It's quite similar to France, 60 to 70% LTV. They have to be for investment purposes. We tend to not really focus on, rates are fairly low, as you can imagine, or, between, we've seen some just a nudge below 2, but generally between 2 and 3. So please call us, and we're happy to, we have a UK loan specialist who's based out here, could help you, is more than happy to help you.
Okay, 2 months ago, I talked to Robert, but he did not suggest because of rates. What is the current rate for a 15-year refinance, loan to value 70% in Florida? I believe you are a US citizen. I'm not 100% sure. So for a US citizen on a 15-year refinance, it's really going to depend on how the property is used. If the property is considered an investment property, meaning on your tax returns, that it's showing that the property is rented, then you can still get up to 80% financing, but at 70%, if you're going to pull out cash, you're probably going to be maybe in the very high 2s. If you're looking to just lower your rate and do a rate and term, you're going to be in the mid to low 2s. So, and that's for a 30-year fix. And again, I mean, we've never seen rates at this level. So,
We have a question from a foreign national looking to purchase in Boston. So in terms of terms, these tend to be, I mean, all of our loans generally are 30-year amortized. The fixed period can range depending on the program. We've got loan programs that just use your income, so the rental income to qualify. We have loan programs that are your standard, using your income to qualify. But generally speaking, all the loans we do are 30-year amortized, and you can choose the fixed rate portion.
Yeah. And kind of add on what Donald said, because the U.S. is quite unique on the 30-year amortization. It doesn't matter your age. In the U.S., you can't discriminate age, sex, religion. So you could be 20 years old or you could be 90 years old and you would still get a 30-year amortization if that's what you're looking for. Somebody had a question that says, if we purchase an investment property in the USA, is there a requirement to live in the property for a certain period? No. If you buy the property as an investment, there's no requirement to ever live in it. So up to 70% loan to value, no visa required. Oh my God, there's so many questions. So,
it's good.
Yes.
Let me do these.
Okay, here's someone that says, sorry, I joined late. Has the current rates for the US already been covered? Yes, so US citizen rates are for second homes are running below 3%. Investment properties are running slightly above 3%. Foreign nationals, the rates have been coming down. They're still in the 5% range, but these are 30-year fixes. So it's still quite good. And if you look at things kind of in perspective where it was pre-COVID, a US citizen investment rate buying an investment property was about 4.875. This was pre-COVID. Right now, a foreign national can get very close to that or even at that rate, depending on that LTV. So things have improved significantly, even though they may not be at that 3% range if you're outside of California. We answered all of that. Yeah, I think we caught up on all the questions, perhaps, or are there? Oh,
Robert, just go to chat. There are several questions on that as well.
We are U.S. citizens that have resided out of the country for a few years. Would it be possible to purchase a multi-family home? Yeah, absolutely. The only challenge that you have when you've been living abroad, a lot of U.S. expats wind up letting their credit either go away or become very, very thin. If that's the case, you can still do the loan. It's perfectly fine, but you won't be able to qualify for what would be considered a standard bank loan. But multifamily loans right now, 1 to 3 units is looked at as the same as if you're purchasing a single family or a condo. Anything over 3 units now is considered a commercial property. So, but all of that is certainly possible. So you may want to reach out to us and we can discuss it a little bit more in detail. What type of bank rates can we expect with 50 to 60% loan to value? I'm UK based, looking to buy in Florida. If you're a US citizen, then the rates are going to be in the 3% range. If you're a foreign national, you can get rates down as low as 4.875, and those are both for 30-year fixes. Another question. We just got our US green card this weekend. Congratulations. Worth the long road to refinance, 60% LTV. Currently rented. We're moving back to California mid-2021. Lower than 3% possible. You know what? You may want to give us a call on that because I think there may be ways to help you. I'm just not exactly sure what your situation would be specific. So I think.
Yeah, let me go on. Oh, Robert left. Okay, let me answer a few of these. So quickly, a portfolio loans in Ireland, definitely. 5 million euros, definitely. Short-term bridging loans, definitely. All of that is just kind of in our wheelhouse. It's been very, very active recently as investors are looking to kind of build up their cash position, which is quite prudent given the uncertainty right around the corner. Questions on loan to value. What determines 60 or 70%? So typically, in most of the loans that we do, there is an appraisal on them. So it's fairly straightforward. So it's usually against whatever the appraised value is. So if your home was appraised for $100,000, 60% would be $60,000. So David is looking to buy property in Dallas, and they're a foreign national. Definitely. So it gets a little tricky with being a primary residence, but investment purposes, definitely. Down payments can range between 30 to 40%. But definitely this is exactly what we do. We probably do, 50 of these a month for foreign nationals. So please give us a call. What's our outlook of the real estate market and which president is more favorable? Well, if I knew that, I'd be sitting on a boat somewhere. But I think generally speaking, just from a personal standpoint, the market has surprised us. Interest rates being low, asset prices being high, stock markets being high. We've seen a historically high number of people looking to buy homes to take advantage of their low rates. In terms of which president more favorable, listen, I think it doesn't matter which president there is. It's going to be, interest rates are going to be lower for a long time. So I think for property market, I think it's generally about the same. And I'm not trying to give an answer to avoid the tough questions. So I truly believe that.
Donald, we have a couple of questions that I just got on my email as well from the webinar viewers. So one question is, do we provide short-term bridge loans for property development in UK or Ireland?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I think I just answered that as well. So that's definitely, we have great solutions with lenders across Europe for this. So please give us a call. Dipti, do you have the contact of that client?
Yeah.
The email? Okay.
So is that it for all the questions? Okay, I guess so. So just to let you know, the recording of this video will be available on YouTube. Please follow our channel. We give out some really good news, good updates on the property and the mortgage market. So please follow us on Global Mortgage Group. This video will also be uploaded by tomorrow or later today. So follow us there. And if you have any questions, please email us at hello@gmg.asia. You can also visit our website at www.gmg.asia. It was a really nice evening, and thank you all for joining in. Should we say bye, Donald?
Yes, Bob, we just got one last question. Do you do bridge loans on business acquisitions? We can try. Please give us a call. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for joining in. I'm flattered that so many of you made the time to kind of dial in and hear Robert and I speak. And we look forward to being in touch and trying to help you with your mortgage needs globally.